Today I'm going to show you how to make this Greek cross quilt block. So the size we're going to be making is a 9-inch, but you could also make it in a 6-inch. If you go to my website, I can give you the measurements for that. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to need to cut some pieces. So we're going to start off with this center piece because we're going to use a fussy cut method. So I'm going to grab my mat here, and I'm just going to use this scrap of fabric here, and I'm going to try to see if I can cut out this little cat to be my center. So we need a 3.5-inch square. So I just have this little small ruler here, and I'm going to just cut from 3.5 over to this line because I already have a cut right here. So there's 3.5. So then I'm going to flip my ruler. I'm going to line up the 3.5-inch mark along both cut edges, and then I will cut along those edges just like that, and then we have a little cat for the center of our block. So there's that. You're also going to need some strips. So if we look at the block here, we have these pieces right here that are strips. So we're going to have 2 pieces of orange. They are 2 inches by 10 inches. You could make them longer and do less. I'm using a layer cake, so that's why my cap is 10 inches. But so I have 2 purples that are 2 by 10, 2 oranges that are 2 by 10. And then for our corners, which are these half square triangles, we're going to use 2 squares of fabric. They're both 5 3/4 of an inch. So let's get started with our half square triangles. What we're going to do, we're going to use the 4 at a time method. So we'll just place them on top of each other with right sides together. You can see the pretty side is on the middle. And we'll just go over to the sewing machine. We're going to sew all the way around this square with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so I've sewn all 4 corners, or all 4 edges. And next we're going to take a long ruler, and we're just going to slice from corner to corner, both directions. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little handy dandy triangle square up ruler, and we want these triangles to be 3.5 inches, the squares. So I line up the seam. You can see there's these dotted lines. I line up the seam right along that dotted line for 3.5, and then I just trim the excess. Okay, the next thing we'll do is we'll take our triangles and we're going to press them open. And the next we'll just trim off these little tails. We don't need those. So now we have our half square triangles. Those will be our corner blocks. We also have our centerpiece. So next we'll need to make our strip blocks for these blocks right here. So we'll just take our two sets of strips here. So we have 2 pink, purple, and 2 orange. We'll just flip them right sides together, and then we will sew along one side long ways of each of these strips. All right, so we have our strips sewn together, and we will just press them open. Okay, now we'll take these strips. I've got them lined up along the lines, and I'm going to just trim them to 3.5 inches. We're going to need 4 blocks. So we'll just trim the edge, and then I will just move my ruler down to the 3.5 inch mark, and we'll make a cut right there. So there we have 2 of them, and then I'll just move down to the 7-inch mark, make one more cut, then we'll have our other 2 blocks. And these are just extra. You don't need those. You can use them for something else or just check them. All right, so we've got all of our pieces cut out, so let's just arrange them. We'll take our cat for the center. We'll take our half square triangles, and we will put the orange towards the center. So just like this. And then I'll take our strip blocks, and we'll have the purple towards the center and the orange towards the outer edge. And that will create our Greek cross quilt block. Okay, so now we have to sew our block together. So we'll take this top row, these 3 pieces, we'll sew them together. Then we will sew the middle 3 pieces together and the bottom 3 pieces together. Okay, so we have our 3 strips sewn together. So next we'll just need to press the seams open. So to do that, we will just take each seam for the top and bottom. We want to press the seams towards the triangles. So if you look on the back, the seam is pressed towards the triangle. And then on the middle piece, we're going to press towards the middle. And what this will do is this will allow us to nest our seams. So if you look on the back of this one, the seams are pressed towards the middle. If you have, you can see that they interlock. So let me show you. If we have our piece like this, this is our seam. One is facing towards the right, one is facing towards the left. They're going to interlock together. We're going to butt those seams up to each other. They will lay flat, and then the corners will line up great if we do that. So that's why we do the nesting of the seams and press them in different directions. So next we'll go ahead and we'll take our 3 pieces, and we will just, with right sides together, sew them together. Just interlock those seams as you come to them. And then we'll do the same thing with the bottom piece, and then we'll press it open. Okay, so we've got all the seams sewn together, and we'll just go ahead and press it open. So there is the Greek cross quilt block. Stick around. I'm going to be making 3 more quilt blocks with this fun Halloween print to make a table runner. So you won't want to miss it.